Here we go. So, these are all two-step equations. There is a reason why we're doing two-step equations today. So, first off, in this we find the balance point. The goal is to isolate the y. Does anybody disagree? We move what's farthest away from the y at first. Okay? In this case, it's a constant 5. It's a positive 5. How do I move positive 5 to the other side?
You minus it.
Yeah, we subtract 5. And then we say, can we, 5 minus 5 is 0. Negative 2y drops down equals. Can we combine those? Can we combine 13 minus 5? Yeah, those are like terms. Okay? 13 minus 5 is? 8. Now we divide both sides by negative 2. Have I lost anybody? Like, I mean, you guys are like this, we've done this for a long time, this race is easy. Negative divided by a negative is positive, positive y. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. Thumbs up if we got that? Good. Okay, same thing. Balance point. This is an x, not a y this time, whatever. Add 6 to both sides. That leaves me 3x equals, I can combine those because those are both constants. Divide by 3, x equals 4. Again, have I lost anything? Okay. Last but not least, I'm going to make this a y, just because I can. I have to subtract 14. Is everybody still with me? I subtract 14. 14 minus 14 is 0. Negative 7y drops down equals 21 minus 14 is 7. Divide each thing by negative 7 gives me y equals negative 1. Okay? Questions? Okay, now, this really was the lesson. I know that seemed, I shouldn't have to do anything else. This was the lesson. But I want to show you something here. Okay? I would copy this down. I'd make sure that you have this down for solving equations for y. This is going to be important. Okay? So, it's another two-step equation, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Balance point. What's the first step to start to get y by itself?
You plus 5 on each side.
I do what?
Plus 5.
I add 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, minus 5.
Subtract 5. Okay. So now, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to bring negative 5y down, and I'm going to write negative 5 plus 25. Because that's really what that is, right? That's negative 5 and 25. Does everybody understand that? I'm just not combining them yet. Because watch what's going to happen. Now what do I do to get y by itself?
Add 5. Each side.
Divide. The last step is either always multiplying or dividing. So we're going to divide by negative 5. On this side, what am I going to divide negative 5 by, though?
25 plus. Or
Oh.
25.
All of it. So I'm going to divide by negative 5 here, and I'm going to divide by negative 5 here. Now I'm going to show you what happens here. Watch. That gives me y equals 1 minus 5. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me bring this problem back over again one more time. 5 minus 5y equals 25. Subtract 5. This time we're going to combine like terms. I'm doing the same problem. But instead of writing it as 2, I'm going to combine like terms. So that gives me negative 5y equals 20. Divide by negative 5. Y equals negative 4. Holy cow. Guys, we got the same answer. Okay? The way that I did it over here does not change it. The steps for solving equations never change. That's the key to this. The steps to solve equation don't change, no matter what's shown. This is the first time in algebra that you guys are going to start seeing more than one variable. Usually we've just seen an x, we've just seen a y. We just did direct variation where we did y divided by x. And that, some of y'all lost your minds. Okay? Don't look at him, it might have been you too, Liam. Okay, so, we are doing what's called literal equations. literal equations are solving for a variable when there's other variables there. So I'm going to start off not solving for y, but solving for something that you might need at some point. Okay? Does anybody know how to find the area of a rectangle? What is it?
Like a rectangle, so that's this.
Mhm.
You have to do, if there's like 5 inches on top,
Mhm.
10 inches on the side, you do 5 times 10.
Yeah, length times width. So here's my example. Area equals length times width. Does everybody agree there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? You've seen this formula. It says solve for L. The goal is to get L by itself. Okay, you're going to want to copy this down. The goal is to get L by itself. So this is my variable. How do I get rid of L times W? What's the inverse of times?
Division.
So what am I going to divide by? If I want L to stay there, what do I have to get rid of?
W.
So I divide both sides by,
1.
not 1, by, there's no 1s or 2s. I divide by W. Because we're trying to get rid of W. What's W divided by W? What's anything divided by itself?
Nothing. I don't know, 1.
1. So that's gone. That leaves me L equals A divided by W. That's how we find length. This is a literal equation. And listen, I could confuse the crud out of you with literal equations. Really, honestly, like, you'd be like, oh, like I could give you something like 1/2 x minus 4y plus 3z equals 7. And it might say, solve for y. And we could do that. Anybody want to? Anybody want to move everything and try to get y by itself?
Wait, is that the correct answer?
No, that's not an answer. That's just what you would be solving.
Oh,
Okay?
Can we solve that?
Hmm?
Can we-
Yeah. Multiply both sides by 2. Multiply by 2, so that gives me x minus 4y plus 6z equals 14. Subtract x, subtract 6z. That gives me negative 4y equals 14 minus x minus 6z. Divide each thing by negative 4. Y then equals negative 7/2 plus 1/4 x minus, plus 3/2 z. That's right. What? So, rather than trying to teach you how to solve all literal equations, I'm going to teach you what's most important for what we have to do for algebra. Sound good? And I'm going to try very hard not to call this, because this has a very specific name. But today, all we're doing is solving for y. All we're doing is solving for y. So here we go. 4x minus 2, actually let's just make it plus 2y equals 6. There is a reason why I gave you the warm-ups the way I did. Okay? The goal is to solve for y. Balance point. It's still an equation. We're still solving the equation for the variable y. If I gave you this equation, wait, watch this. Like this, what would you do?
Minus 4.
Oh. Does having an x there change anything? No. So how would we move before x?
Oh, minus 4x.
Very good. So we subtract 4x from both sides. That leaves me 2y equals. Now, can I combine 6 and 4x's? If I gave you this problem, 6 minus 4x, and told you to combine like terms, can you combine those? They're not like terms. So, here's where it's going to get a little tricky. I always want the x term close to the equal sign. The x term is negative 4x. What type of 6 is it? So I'm going to put a plus 6. Everybody still with me? Okay? How do I get y by itself? By?
2.
So I divide this side by 2. What do I divide over there? Everything. Sorry, I'm chewing on my cough drop. When we divide everything, I want you to divide each individual thing by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 what? 1 y. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2x. 6 divided by 2 is positive 3. If you didn't copy this, copy it now. Okay? We're going to start with very easy ones, and then we're going to get into hard ones, okay? Today's all about easy. Nothing's going to look different today. They're all going to be very similar to every single thing that we do. Okay? Okay. So first step, I'm going to find the balance point. Yes? I should probably write that we are solving for y. Okay? That's what we're doing right now. This is a literal equation. All we're looking to do is get the y by itself. So we're solving for y. What do I need to move first? Kendall, what do I move first? What do I need to move first to get y by itself? Subtract 7x from both sides. And make sure that it's 7x. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is people just say minus 7. We're not minus 7, we're taking away the 7 x's. That's gone. Negative 3y drops down equals. What should I write on this side?
8 or negative 7. Oh wait.
Yeah, set negative 7
Plus 18.
x. Then plus 18. I want, and there's going to be a reason, okay? I'm not telling you that reason now. I'm kind of tricking you into what our next chapter is going to be. But there's a reason why we want that x term right there. Everybody still with me? Now what? To what?
Negative 7x and 18.
Very good. We're dividing negative 3 to each individual thing. Negative divided by a negative is positive. Positive what? Positive 1y. Now, this is where your calculator doesn't help you. A negative divided by a negative is what?
Positive.
I don't want decimals. I want it as a fraction. Can we simplify 7/3? Nope. So it stays as positive 7/3 x. What about positive 18 divided by negative 3?
Oh wait.
Use your calculator.
6.
What kind of 6? What?
Negative.
Negative 6. You will often get a fraction with the x term. Listen again. You will often get a fraction with that x term. That's going to have a name here not next week, but when we come back from Christmas. Okay? You are now getting into the most important part of algebra. Really. When I used to work in Virginia, we had state tests called the SOLs, the Standards of Learning. And I told my students, hey, listen, if you can solve equations, if you can graph, I can get you to pass the SOL. And it was students who had never passed a math test in their life. If they could learn to graph, which is what this is, they can pass the SOL. Obviously, we don't have that. But I'm teaching this in geometry. I'm teaching this in algebra 2, so you need to know how to solve for y. Okay? Can I make it a little bit harder? Just a little bit. 5 minus 8x plus 7y equals 26. Okay, definitely a little bit harder. Definitely a little bit harder. What are we solving for?
Y.
Yeah, we're still solving for y. The goal is to get y by itself. A little tricky. What do you think we're going to move first this time?
The 5.
Okay, how do we move a positive 5?
You subtract it from each side.
Yeah. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. 5 minus 5 is 0. All of this comes down. Negative 8x plus 7y equals. Can I combine 26 minus 5? Oh, those are like terms, so I can combine those. 26 minus 5 is?
21.
Good. Okay. Let's see if you guys can finish this off. Get y by itself. Can you get them by themselves now? You got it, Liam? Liam's like, this was easy, Mr. H. We ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Liam, you were the first one done, man. Tell me, what am I doing?
So, divide, well, not divide.
Okay.
Take away 8x
How?
by adding
Adding what?
8x, and then bring it over to 21
So what do I do on this side?
plus 8x,
Very good, okay? So that's gone. What comes down?
7y,
Equals?
8x plus 21.
Very good. The 8x is positive, it stays in front. Awesome. Kendall, now what do I do?
Divide by 7.
Okay, so I'm going to divide this side by 7, and then what on this side?
8x.
And 21. You have to divide each individual thing. That leaves me y equals. Can I simplify 8 divided by 7? So it stays as 8 sevenths x. What about 21 divided by 7?
Plus 3.
Positive 3. Y'all, you're crushing this. Any questions? I told you, we're spending 3 days on this. Okay? Prove to me that you got this. Ready? May I erase?
Yep.
So all of the questions you're solving for y. Okay? There's no homework tonight. These are what you're going to do as practice. That one's going to be a tough one. Okay, these are not easy. Let's see what you got. Good luck. Okay, we'll go over these in a minute.